Right. So you're going to have to clear that from your screen. And we're going to get into, we want to clear up what is manifestation and what isn't manifestation. And start with the right notes. How about that? Okay. So anyway, what I really would like to do, we did our little slideshow, and there is something here. Now, Bob, you may not be able to find your chat on your phone, might be a little more difficult, but the other two can use your chat, and Bob will just, I'll open your mic so that you can just verbally share. And so, there's the chat. Type, there it is. Okay, so I want to work with some questions. I want to work with these different ways because it keeps it more interesting. So we're going to have you use the chat first. Or actually, I goofed. It says show of hands. My notes say that. So with show of hands, who here believes in manifestation? Let's see. Okay, good, good. Okay, who doesn't believe at all? And then who's on the fence? Okay, so this is good. So you want to like, stick the thermometer in and see, this is where I'm at. You want to know that. Very important. Very good. Know where your starting point is. Okay, so this is where we're going to use the chat. What is the biggest thing that you've ever manifested? Put it in the chat. So I'm going to, oh, I can unmute you. Oh, goodness, Bob. Ask to unmute. Can you unmute yourself, Bob, so you can answer that? I can mute you, but I can't unmute you. Isn't that wild? Can you see how to unmute? So who's going to use the chat? Oh, okay. David, something tiny, won $100,000. How about Wheezy? Anything that you've seen that you've kind of created, brought into your life that you wanted and you brought in?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. You could skip the having the child part and go right to the.
Exactly.
That is a manifestation. Wow. Bob, can you unmute? Can you figure it out? Rub your finger on your phone and you're going to see the mute thing and you're going to hit it. Should be on mine, it's generally down the bottom left.
Got it. I just want to get a light so you guys could see me. It's dark out here.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that because I couldn't see you. I thought I just couldn't see.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry.
why don't you go ahead and share? What is the biggest thing you've ever manifested?
The biggest thing I've ever manifested. Oh, geez, let me think for a second. Biggest thing I've ever manifested. Well, I have the #1 design for a hammer in the United States. I'd have to say that tops it.
That's pretty awesome.
Or none. That's it. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So now we're going to do verbal shares that we have already. And has anyone had any manifestations from the time you've heard about this workshop to now?
Can I speak?
Yeah, do so verbally. Yeah, please.
So what you're saying is from just going through setting up Zoom, knowing that the manifestation class is going to work, I'm going to get valuable information. Did anything good happen up until this point? Is that what your question was?
Yeah, since the moment where you were like, Bob, this thing's happening, you want to do it.
Right.
And what were the turn of events on your career that you can recognize that took place?
Well, I study very often at the emergency department. And with Corona, I saw a lot of doctors and nurses burn out, go on SSRIs, antidepressants and stuff. And I started thinking about our power that we have inside. And when we remind each other of it, and then it gets stronger. And then I started to think about some of the doctors and nurses that were coming out to accept patients. And I thought, some of these guys could get a psychic reading or something, or take this class and they would really get a healing. And they started to act differently towards me. They started to go, wow, this person really cares about me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the
That is
truth.
a profound thing that we should talk about at some time.
Yeah,
So, and what that topic is how we hold the image of others they respond to.
absolutely. That's what was happening. Even the doctor kept looking over at me.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I could get this guy a real good healing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's the truth.
I'm writing the note on that.
No, because there's a lot of people looking for health. I'm seeing a lot of doctors and nurses struggling with politics, and I'm like, man, if I turned them onto this class, they would just totally remind themselves that they're in control, and then smile.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah,
Good
that's
point.
the way of, like the weight of what we're up against during the day can shift us out of those kind of beliefs. And when we're in those beliefs, we're empowered. When we're out of those beliefs, we're getting drained. So,
Hmm.
Dave, have you noticed anything?
Yes. So I talked about this. There's an ongoing family who's been hired us to do these big jobs. And one of the jobs was up in Reno, but that was going to be put off for a while. But she just reached out to me today and said, we need to clear out some stuff now. And would you be interested in your crew going up to Reno to go pick this stuff up? And I said, well, of course. And we were talking about doing that not until next year. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Moved up the starting line.
right. And then I've got 3 jobs with Alameda County Adult Protection Services that just came in, like finishing up, happening, putting them on the schedule in the last 4 days.
And
Right
so
on.
this is a fabulous testimony speaking up about what's going on. Sometimes when you make a simple decision activates experience. That you can call a universal law. A decision, you making a thumb with your energy, this is it, a choice will start to get the energy to all work together on behalf of that decision. And so this is what you're seeing. Taking the class could be a catalyst, getting in the pond of manifestation, of things just moving faster. Louise, have you noticed any things that are, happening for you in your life?
A big cooperative effort on a major purchase
Wow.
that went very smoothly and quickly, unusually smoothly and quickly.
Wow.
So,
Right.
with my husband.
Completely lovely.
Oh.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why I'm asking these questions is I want to begin to spotlight manifestation in a different light. That's why I'm using the spotlight. No. Anyway, because do you notice that everyone mentioned these positive manifestations, good things that have happened, right? Because we relate to manifestations as when the good stuff happens. We kind of put our mind on, I want such and such to happen, I want such and such to happen. And when it does, it's like, oh yeah, that good thing happened. So one thing I want to also put our attention on is that manifestation is something that is happening all the time. It is something that we are always doing with our energy, and it can be pro or con. So when things go awry, we're still manifesting. with our energy things that are, more destructive. When they're good, we are still manifesting with our energy. We cannot help it. We are manifestors. We are co-creators with the universe. So the universe has laws. It operates in a certain manner, and you don't bypass them because of your beliefs. I don't believe. They don't stop operating and saying, we'll stop operating because so-and-so doesn't believe. No, they don't do that. Okay, they're just going to keep operating. So they're operating. And these, has anybody seen the movie The Secret? Yeah. Bob? No?
No,
Yeah,
no.
if you're able to, I think it's on YouTube, so you can,
Yeah.
look it up.
It's on Prime Video too. No
Okay.
commercials
Oh,
if you have Prime.
there you go. Anyway, so in The Secret, you're learning about the primary law that they're focusing on is the law of attraction, how we attract things to us. So this law is always operative, and it's based on your energy. Like if you're, and I'm just going to be kind of blatant weird, if you have funky ass energy, you're going to get funky ass results.
Yeah.
If you got this positive, fabulous energy, you're going to be kind of rolling at it in a different manner and have, fabulous kind of results. And so this secret really gets into like how energy moves. You've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 or more people who basically they dedicated their life, this is what they do for their business. They're all going to describe it in a bit of a different manner because that is the magic of manifestation. However many people there are on the planet, it can be described that way. And chances are, as they keep growing and evolving, living life and course correcting their life and learning more, they would, change their description of what manifestation is. They would be fuller, more understood, all that. So manifestation is happening. The Secret is a wonderful thing to watch. What it does present, it also presents the law of receptivity, how we receive or how we shut that out. And this is a huge thing. We're going to focus on this quite a bit. So the law of receptivity is in there as well and mentioned. And so if you have a chance to watch that, and somebody said, well, what's the difference? Well, what's the difference between what you do and the Secret? Can I just go watch The Secret for free? And I'm like, yeah, go watch The Secret for free. It's totally awesome. And then if you want to come back and do some of this stuff deliberately and consciously, come and see me. So it totally informs you. It gets you, like, wow. And the fact is, it really drives home the fact that this is part of who you are, and this is what you do all the time. That's right there in there. But it's not a course to learn and do and practice in a pond with people who are doing that. And that's one of the benefits of us meeting here is that we're going to work on this together. So this kinetic energy, positive energy of manifesting and well-wishing, well-wishing for each other. So, you can walk through life and you can have a great idea and your friend goes, you're full of it. What do you think that did to your dream? Shot it down, right? You say, oh. And so when you have people who are going, yeah, right, that gives it a different kind of take place. Airplanes. So anyway, so what's the difference? Now, the other topic that comes up is, well, what's the difference between luck and manifestation? And so I thought we'd do this. And Louise, if you'll play along with me, because I know you know how to work your devices. You got a computer in front of you. And if you pull up dictionary.com and type in manifest, and then if you'd read it in your golden tones, this woman has a gorgeous voice. She was.
I mean, look it up on another device.
Another device, if it were, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Or the same one. Okay.
You could split your screen.
Or Google.
Yeah.
No, I want the dictionary, dictionary.com, because that's,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I have that written down. I have that, but I want somebody else's voice speaking.
Dictionary.com. How about metamorphose? That's the word of the day.
No,
No, I know.
manifestation. No.
Is it manifest or manifestation?
Manifest. I'm gonna probably pause you in between, sentences.
An adjective. Manifest. Don't we want verb?
Read them all.
Okay. There's a lot here. Adjective, number 1. Readily perceived by the eye or the understanding.
Stop.
Evident.
Readily perceived by the eye or understanding. So there's a perception here. It's a conceptual perception. And they're talking as well visual. Okay. But the understanding is in there. Go.
Number 2, adjective. Psychoanalysis. Of or relating to conscious feelings, ideas, and impulses that contain repressed psychic material.
Stop. Sound familiar? So we're talking about energy here. And energy is stored within our subconscious minds as feelings and thoughts attached to ideas or beliefs. And that's how it's stored within our subconscious. But if we're like a bank, a little piggy bank of life experience, which is ideas, beliefs, thoughts, and feelings with each one of those. Go.
Number 3, this is a verb. To make clear or evident to the eye or the understanding. To show plainly.
Okay, so to make it clear. So from my mind, since I understand manifestation and you guys do, you're bringing that understanding into you or out of you, because this is a being. It's, to make clear, to literally be seen. Okay, does that make some sense? Go ahead.
Another verb, to prove, put beyond doubt or question.
Okay.
Next one, noun. Oh, this is good for David. A list of the cargo carried by a ship made for the use of various agents and officials at the ports of destination.
Okay.
A manifest, yep.
Yes.
A manifest.
So listen, your subconscious mind has a manifest. It is loaded with your life experience. It's just like a little list of all of it that you've been through. It has the thought and the emotion attached to it, but it's in there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And this is what in our class we are going to consciously and deliberately work on our manifestation as opposed to unconsciously. Now, when we're unconsciously walking around, not paying attention, just living our days, it's the unconscious that kind of it comes into play. Okay. And whatever is stored in there, this doesn't mean the information stored in there, even though it might be your belief and you might believe that belief as true.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay. Even though we might believe that as true, it doesn't mean it is a truth. We might believe that to be true, but it doesn't mean it's a truth. It's just what we took in and said, this is the truth. And it can be very askew. So we might draw on that library of information as reaction to things that we're going through. That energy reserve might be what we're creating from. But when you're deliberately and consciously creating, you are, you're set at a different energy level than what's stored. Okay, because you're deliberately maintaining a different quality of energy your thoughts and feelings connected to it are higher grade than what's been stored that can come into play. When you see things not going right, going awry, or say you did a manifestation and it didn't come in, this over here, this. And I'm going to call these, like, you know, you've heard the phrase skeletons in a closet. Everybody heard that phrase?
Yes.
They come into play. So that energy, pretty as it is, sparkly purple, comes into play, you know. And a lot of times we experience it as uncomfortable feelings, fears, doubts, worries, all that. That's all pretty low grade stuff. Would you agree with that? It's like, I don't want to roll at that vibe. Is anybody else? Yes, no, maybe so.
No.
I want to change vibrations badly.
Yeah. So this is what this class is about. How do we, so I teach other classes. I teach classes that deal with the physical body. And in the classes, I teach people how to relax, extremely relax. And I teach them how to tense up or use their muscle. So whenever you engage your muscle, you're going to contract. And then, you know, it's going to take a bit for them to unwind and relax again. So I teach both sides of this and the need, the know-how to relax immediately. When you are walking your life, walking the road of your life, and you come up against, oh man, it's getting bumpy, to be able to change vibrations like that. I know how to do this. I've been practicing it. I'm getting fluid in this language of changing vibrations and rolling at a different vibe. And this is how you see your manifestations, you know, you're just calling a different quality of life. You're playing with a different quality of energy. Your outcomes are different. If you're deliberately wanting to manifest a thing, you see it come in clearer, quicker. Things like this. I got the picture of if you were on a landing, you know, strip, a plane was coming in and you're right there with the lights. Here I am. Come on in. You know, you're kind of like that person, which I forget what they're called. But you got the idea, right? Because you got the picture. Okay. So I also want to go look at that whole thing about manifestation and luck. People's head goes, well, what if it's just luck? And then if you take a look at what is luck? So if Louise will look for us as to what is luck.
Okay.
You guys doing okay with this? Are you getting bored?
Oops, no, not at all.
We want to tune our brains up. We want to tune our minds, our brains, and things that we don't really look at, we want to look at.
Noun, the force that seems to operate for good or ill in a person's life, as in shaping circumstances, events, or opportunities.
Stop. Now you notice that you use the word seems to. Seems to. Not really completely so, because it seems to. So there's not really committed belief behind that. And it goes right along with, now that person's probably just lucky.
Seems to be lucky or seems to be unlucky.
Seems to be lucky. It's not going to let's make manifest what's inside showing up on the outside. That's what manifestation is. Bringing something into being. What you hold and feel inside out manifests into your life. The luck thing kind of leaves this maybe space. The other one is a definite. Even in the description of it, it's very definite. Do you notice that difference? I do have laser focus on this. Anybody see the difference there? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Let's go forward.
Darn it. Phone keeps falling.
That lamp
Okay.
wants to get you.
Good
That's
fortune,
Whoops, hold on.
advantage or success, considered as the result of chance.
Yeah. So luck is considered the majority of, and this is where I thought was a kick in the butt. Funny, that means funny. Like when I looked up in the thesaurus other words for luck, there were a whole slew of positive words for luck. And those words are more in alignment with manifestation and then there were fewer words in about the negatives of luck, antonyms. And I thought that was really interesting for this reason. We take in 70% more of the negatives. They have a bigger impact on us than the positives that we hear. So 70% more, they have a bigger impact on us than when we hear or see a positive thing. I thought, wow, isn't it interesting that the words, the antonyms for luck, there's a whole bunch of them. You need to hear them to offset the impact of the negatives that have gone in. Just me, I thought it was kind of amusing. Go ahead, Weeze. Is there a little bit more there?
There's two more nouns and then two verbs.
Okay, I'll go for it, breeze through them.
Okay. A combination of circumstances, events, etc., operating by chance to bring good or ill to a person.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and why would it bring good or ill? It's based on the quality of energy they entertain. That's the energy law. Go ahead.
Another noun, some object on which good fortune is supposed to depend. As in, this rabbit's foot is my luck.
Yeah. Horseshoe, rabbit's foot, things like that. Things that are charged, really. It's interesting because there is a whole field of study of that. You can use gemstones and charge them, crystals and charge them, salt and charge it because it will hold a charge, and you can charge it with a quality of energy. So very interesting. Anyway,
That would be an interesting class. That would be an interesting class.
love to teach that class. Love that.
I'm there.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Very good. Okay. So thank you for that, Louise. I want to give you my definitions. I just have okay, now I'm a believer, right? I'm a believer. I'm not a doubter. I'm a believer. And a couple things I want to draw your attention to. So my definition, if I can find it, and I wrote it down, is Linda's definition of, where are you? Manifestation is bringing something into being into the manifest world. What you can see, world. For luck is based on the energy you carry within your subconscious mind. So luck equates, the kind of luck you have equates to the quality of energy you carry. So, and your beliefs about what you can have. I'm not very lucky, right? What does that say? That's going to relate back to another week where we're going to go into being open to receiving. If you're walking around thoughts of or saying verbally or finding yourself, this is the thing, the beauty of finding what pops out of your mouth or goes into your own head, write it down. It's so valuable. It's like, wow, what that popped up from my library, and it's like, I'm just not lucky. Well, if you carry that thought and feeling, that is a door slamming thought and feeling to receiving things. That shuts the doors. That shuts off your energy. It shuts down your heart. It changes your image, like your confidence drops. You can see, even if you said those things to yourself and kind of watched yourself, what internal posture you take on, and you even find your physical posture matching it. So Those are my definitions. Anyway, for what that's worth. Another thing I wanted to show you. Where are you? Where are you hiding? I didn't get to do it the way I wanted to, but that's okay. I didn't quite manifest it.
Awesome.
So I wanted to talk about the anatomy, the anatomy of belief. Okay, the anatomy of belief. How is belief built, put together, formed? Belief is built this way. It's an idea taken in to the subconscious mind, is supported with thoughts and feelings, emotions, experienced, maybe experientially, over a period of time. So it is repeated in various forms, ways. The library that you draw on is that, and it builds. So you keep having related idea, emotion, thinking, reinforced by life. Yeah, check it out. It is that way. The way I feel about it, the way I'm thinking about it. There it goes again. I really feel that way. I'm going to think like this about it. Repeatedly, that is the anatomy of belief. And that's how we have our beliefs. We've adopted belief. We came with belief genetic, hereditary beliefs. And we've learned beliefs, but it does not mean those are truths. So believing and what truths are, and usually truths are something you can kind of weigh them out by seeing, does it hold weight when it's compared to universal principle? Or does it seem askew or off? So this is something like you develop your eye and you begin to, if you're going to work with the law of attraction. So I'm going to focus on law of attraction. I'm going to watch life around me. I'm going to see where I'm at, thinking, believing, and feeling, and see how that relates to my experience. Because here's what happens. What you're experiencing today is what you thought, felt, and believed yesterday. And that may not be in a day, that might be in a moment, yester year, yester month. But it's something that was thought, felt, and believed out playing, out manifesting into your world. That's how that happens. Okay. So now we've done the stuff that makes us like go, what? That is so boring, dry. I want to tell you one of the reasons why that kind of learning is a little bit, and you keep looking and you can doubt it and all kinds of stuff like that. It's because all of that is reverse engineering of what really happens. So when we learn stuff here, and we didn't learn it in here first, and then use this second to organize it, explain it, put it to use, we are kind of backwards, simply because this here can take in so much less than this here as a being, as a being. And what you know in your heart to be true, that kind of stuff. So the expansive view, the one that can tune into the greatest, the best, the law, the universal law, and even align with it. Your mind, of course, steers that. You use your brain to steer your mind to say, my intention is to align. Don't know how the hell that happens, but this is my intention. That, like, setting your in your car, what's it called? You set your GPS.
Yes.
You don't know all the how to get there, right? But you set your GPS for a destination and you get there. That is the same navigation that happens on a superconscious level with you as a being. And this is how things begin to work for you, depending on if you're identifying with this, and we're going to call this the magnificent manifestor. It's a different identity. than everything that's stored in here, this kind of hodgepodge library that, you know, we were born into, that we adopted, that we learned, that kind of thing. And we're just let it be there and use it as a library of reference. So two very different things, two different walks in life. Conscious, deliberate, like going and picking the best vegetables instead of getting all the and crummy ones sent to you. So, okay, so put that in your hopper. My mom used to say things like that. Put that in your hopper. Think about that. And we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back for what I call the fun part. So you guys doing okay?
Doing wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's ask a question, like, what were your takeaways so far? First of all, in reflection, has your mind, so truly, for us to have different results, we need to shift our energy and align it differently and identify differently. Then we get different results. Do you find any of this sort of thing happening for you? Or maybe some of this thing like the clarity, the understanding, some of those things that were mentioned even in the manifest, dictionary definition. Love to hear. Who would like to share?
Well,
Takeaway.
it reminds me of previous things I've done to create a better life. There's the acronyms TFAR, which was your thoughts lead to feelings, conjuring leads to action equals your results.
Yeah,
So
lovely.
So you had said similar to that is like, once we have clear in mind a picture, that's all about thought, thinking of it, what you want, manifest, feeling, getting the emotional energy moving about that, and then taking action. How am I going to get to that? Focusing that stuff. Like we used to do the mock-up thing. If you want to buy a car, go drive a car.
Yeah.
You know, and it equals your results.
Yeah, that's good. And those are wonderful. And, like this is not happening with you guys, but amongst another group, a lot of questions came up, and most of them were, I'm going to say, they were the kind of questions that wanted to take out their big eraser and erase manifesting as a possibility. Those kind of questions. So there was a lot of doubt. Basically, people carry doubt because of the way they perceive and believe about manifestation. Like it's a magic thing, like something just drops out of the sky. But one thing David just said, with the thought, with the feeling, there was an action that had to be taken. What is that part? That's the part where your body has to get into it. You can't just be a gigantic head, right? You can't just be a body of emotion. You got to be, there's going to be certain requirements as you do your, like Bob, he wants to manifest being an RN. It's down the line. He can see, oh, it's a while before I call that in, but I'm doing the steps that you would take to get there.
Yeah.
So there's something you have to do in your body. David mentioned, if you want a car, go drive the car. Let your body know what that feels like. Yeah. That kind of thing.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
That comes about that. So the $100,000 was a $2 scratcher ticket. I had seen this scratcher for 200,000 back in 1999. I saw 50. The winning total number of tickets were 50. I said, I can win that. That was like a few months earlier, and I kept focusing on it. It's like I could do that. So I had in mind one Sunday afternoon, I walked down to the corner store where they sold tickets, and I was feeling it. I was like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to get that ticket, one of those tickets. So the ticket that I got was actually ready to be pulled off one of those serrated. They pull them out of the plastic bin, and they have the little serrated edge so they could pull it off. like at 9 o'clock in the morning, some lady said, "Give me that $2 scratcher ticket." She goes, "No, actually, give me two of those $1 tickets instead." The guy behind the counter said about 3 or 4 times, he said, "Oh, I'll just buy the tickets, just stick it there." He never did. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 hours, we're just sitting there. I walked down to the store, boom, pulled it off, $100,000. So action, result was I won the 100,000. I literally walked down to the store, bought like 3 tickets, and it was the very first ticket, that happened. So I'm a big believer in what Linda's teaching.
And it helps when you focus your mind, like, there's an agreement. I'm going to look at it this way. I'm going to look at it this way, and therefore you're going to observe it differently. And with that kind of attitude, you will actually observe in a whole different light, see how it works. It will wear out, quote unquote, doubt, because you'll see it happen. And if, as my mother would say, if you just relate a dime to a donut, at that time a donut cost a dime. This is equating to this. It's obvious, and this is her thinking. I came from a mom like that, so anyway, so if you start looking at it in that light, you will notice how it works. You will notice how the universe works, and the universe doesn't just work. Who do you think stirs the universe? It works through us. Right? It works through everything, but it works through us as well. We're not outside of it. We're right in the middle of it. So anybody else have a takeaway they'd like to share? No? That's okay. If something dawns on you, then after the break, we can do it. So we're going to take a break. I'm going to stop the recording.